Alrighty, so I'm pretty sure you guys know by now that the word on the street was that Lee Jung Jae wasn't touted to play the character of Saul and the Acolyte, that it was actually somebody else. Let's check this out. Keanu Reeves was originally considered for major role in The Acolyte. Now, of course, they were saying that it is a fan favorite, but I don't think any character at The Acolyte was a fan favorite by any stretch at all. Now, when it comes to the show itself, it was just garbage. The characters were poorly written. It was so bad that even Grace Randolph, I talked about this on the show before, that Grace Randolph said that she hates Saul now. She never wants to see Saul again because she just doesn't know what's behind the motivation for every single thing that Saul did. It's inexplicable, right? Absolutely horrendous.
It's bad.
But can you imagine, guys? Can you imagine the sort of bullet that we just dodged? Can you imagine that character? As bad as that character is, that character was created ideologically, from an ideological standpoint, to denigrate men, right? And I know some of you might not want to believe this, but that character was created as a sexist. They created him as a sexist. Showrunner Leslie Headland claims, oh, she killed Saul in The Acolyte because he was imposing benign sexism on her. Let me just quickly give you the context of why she said what she said. So in an interview with the Collider, Maggie Lovitz asked Headland, what's so interesting about the moment where Osha kills Saul is how much is conveyed even while he's choking on his words. Also, and maybe this was my own impression of it, but my first thought was that he doesn't even give her the agency to make this choice herself because he's accepting his fate. It just adds so much insult to the injury. Clearly, Saul was set up to be beat up by women, feminist women especially. As you can see there is nothing Saul would have done that would have been right. Saul agrees with the death, yes. Saul disagrees with the death, yes. He is sexist either way, no matter what he does. So you can see clearly why it was a good thing that Keanu Reeves turned them down, because they had an agenda. It wasn't about them actually staying and keeping up with the lore. It wasn't about them actually catering to the fans, but it was about them pushing the agenda, and that agenda was definitely the denigration of men and the denigration of what men stand for, whether it be brotherhood or fatherhood and all of that. Of which, when you hear what Leslie Headland has to say, it wouldn't be far-fetched what I'm saying right now. Leslie Headland, we also knew that it was always going to be the betrayal of a father, and I knew we had to juxtapose Luke's forgiveness and Vader's redemption. We are like, this is a story about the Sith, so that's not going to happen. Now, this is where she goes on to try to denigrate the idea of fatherhood or, paternal instincts and so on and so forth. She then goes on to affirm Lovitz comment, says, you're absolutely right. There's this thing called benign sexism. So others have benign sexism. I don't know. And a part of this is a paternal protectionism. So paternal protectionism is now benign sexism, according to them. At this point in time, I have to ask, Leslie Headland, are you a man? No. Are you married to a man? No. So I don't think it would be too far-fetched to think that this mindset that you're having is actually coming from the experiences that you had with your father. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised if Osher is a self-insert. Pretty much many directors try to do this, and usually it's a good thing when they do not have certain political agendas that they want to push, or actually trying to entertain people with these experiences. However, when it comes to Leslie Headland, she wanted to push an agenda, and she has said this plenty of times that she wanted to destroy certain gender norms, which politics like this has no business being in any Star Wars series or any Star Wars movie at all. But there is more. It seems like this good thing, but like you said, there is this. I have to protect you from everything. I have to make sure you are okay. I have to tell you what track to get on. And then once you are on track, I need to support you. Seriously, what's wrong with that? Every parent wants what's better for their children. These people hate the idea that parents want the best for their children and want to guide their children so that those children don't make the same mistakes that they made, right? No, it's a bad thing. So children should make up their own mind. They should decide to themselves, if I don't want to be the gender that I am, I should. But you wouldn't allow children to get a tattoo. You wouldn't allow children in clubs. You wouldn't allow them to get alcohol, but they can make other decisions that they want to. And parents trying to guide them, give them the right path, make sure that the latter is better than the former, make sure that their children is better than them. This is what fathers, real fathers, not somebody who just gave birth to a child and moved away. Real good fathers, this is what they want for their children, to guide them, to protect them. Oh no, to them, that's benign sexism. So can you imagine them taking this hunk of a man, Baba Yaga, and putting him in that show right? Just to destroy him. Because when you look at things from an ideological standpoint, like I said before, what does Keanu Reeves represent in movies and as a person? As a person, he's a sweetheart, a gentleman, good guy. All of his interview, he's lovable. And they want to take this thing, and by this thing, I mean masculinity, don't get it twisted, that is good, and say, all you guys think this is good, but it's actually all part of sexism. And from a movie standpoint, when you take a look at Keanu Reeves as a character like John Wick, as a man of a man, man. He's a man of a manly man. Manly man's man. And you want to take that person and put that person in this series of yours. And at the end of the day, when he turned her down, I believe that she became very salty. Very, very, very salty, because for me, Leslie Headland is not a Star Wars fan. Leslie Headland is a Matrix fan. She's not a Star Wars fan. There's a reason why she decided to compare the fight scene of this final episode to Matrix rather than to just other Star Wars show. The Acolyte showrunner, Leslie Headland, believes Star Wars series final fight scene tops The Phantom Menace, The Matrix. The reason why she's comparing it to The Matrix is because that's what she was competing against, to show that she's a fan of. She's not a fan of Star Wars. She set out to destroy everything that the Jedi stand for in Star Wars. That's what she set out to do. And she got salty that this guy didn't want to participate in it, in Keanu Reeves. And so she decided to, throw this out there. Because if you really look at things, she was trying to mimic The Matrix. You don't believe me? Well, check this out. Check out some of the fight scenes. Like, check this out. Listen to the drums. Does this feel like you're watching a Star Wars movie? Where's the lightsaber? Most of the fight scenes, there were no lightsabers. We're talking about this acolyte fighting against a Jedi, and there was no lightsaber. She had to make an excuse for them to go hand-to-hand combat for most of the time, right? I mean, what does that remind you of? Isn't that very similar to this? Yep. And then stop. And they say something. Adaptation. Which is very similar to what Saul did here too.
You attack me without a weapon.
See? And stop. And then conversate. So basically, this is what she was mimicking. So to me, I feel like she had a mindset of something to do. And maybe in one sense or the other, she also thought maybe if Keanu Reeves was on the show, you'd have the total Matrix, you'll have the one, like they did in Matrix 4. I don't know how you have two the ones, but if you check Matrix 4 out, spoilers, Trinity is also the one. So you now have two the ones. I don't know how that happened. It's called The One for a reason. That's why that particular movie was an absolute disaster of a movie. It was a commercial flop as well, right? They shouldn't have made it. They should never have made it. But that's where we're at, right? So Leslie Headland, to me, I feel is very salty because she couldn't achieve what she wanted to achieve. She wanted to denigrate men in the worst way possible, take one of the sweethearts, a very good representation of a man, and use this show to destroy it just to prove a point that men are just generally bad. And to top it off, what is even more annoying is that fans actually wanted to see Keanu Reeves on Star Wars. For the past 10 years or more, even more than that, fans have been calling for Keanu Reeves to play a part in Star Wars. They wanted him to play a totally different character, a character that already existed in that particular High Republic era. And that character was simply Revan, a character that surfaced in the video games in 2003. And for well over a decade now, fans have been fantasizing about Keanu Reeves playing that particular character, which would have been absolutely awesome and cool. However, Leslie Headland had other plans in mind, and so did Disney and Lucasfilm. But now it seems that they might want to be course correcting, as we are also getting news that there is still an open door for Keanu Reeves to play a different character in Star Wars. Will it save it? I still think not. If the character was poorly written or is poorly written, it will still fail. Something that Leslie Headland still has failed to understand. But these are my thoughts regarding this. I think we dodged a bullet on this one, and I think Keanu Reeves is dodging that bullet the same way he was dodging bullets from A. Smith in Matrix. And it's so awesome to see. Fantastic news. And personally, I'm happy about this from an ideological standpoint, plus the fact that I like Keanu Reeves and I don't want his career totally destroyed as it were right now with a series or a show like The Acolyte. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, ding that bell for notification. And I'll catch you guys on the very next one. Take care, peace, and size out. Bye-bye.